Welcome, everybody, to the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And, folks, as always,
it's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
We used to read Blood Horse magazine. I got my Cuban links and this Razorback pendant on.
Yes, Cuban B.
I'm your host, Chase Sessoms, the Wolf of Oaklawn.
I'd rather be trapped than lazy. Don't care what they say, I'ma do what pays me.
It happens every year about this time. Weaklings act like they lost their mind. Alphas reclaim the neighborhood. Rob the sheep and all the wolves get good.
Yes. Welcome to the show. Joining me, as always, you might know him as the Michelangelo of the crime, Michael Jordan. He's your favorite capper's favorite capper. Ladies and gentlemen, the benevolent time traveler, Barry the Sniper Spear.
Hey, don't rub on that. You block that. You understand? That's alpaca. That's $25,000 alpaca. You block that shit. Right. You don't rub on. Put the club soda on there.
What's good, Barry?
Not much at all. Just getting back from Indiana, had a good time, and ready to go with this week.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I'm pumped to be back, for sure. Just real quick.
Oh yeah, the ultimate berserker.
Yeah, Barry is our ultimate berserker, which means I get to mail him a GIMP mask from Amazon, for his prize. Yeah, Barry is the ultimate berserker, Team Steam Merchant. Proved victorious in our Pin Mile Day tournament.
Did anybody hit anything else? I don't even remember.
No.
Dang, I was the only one that hit anything?
Yeah, and we adjusted the starting totals for scratches and everything because scratches really decimated a lot of our plays. Yeah. So we had limited attempts compared to what we normally do on a $100 budget card. So not too fucked up about us not hitting whenever most of our plays were down to ice cold, if that.
But we got to.
Real quick. Sorry we were out last week. I just want to drop one quick note, which is your mental health is your health. Take care of it. That's my only advice. Let's get into it, though. It's Monday. And Barry, on Monday, what do? We pick them in threes. What is it? What did Drake said? I don't like my chicks single. Or was it something? I don't like something single. I like my chicks in twos. Whatever. It doesn't work. You have to add in Drake to make it three. Never mind. Barry and I have dug through this Monday Presque Isle Downs card to find our best pick threes for today. We're talking Presque Isle Downs Monday, today, the 7th July, year of our Lord, 2025. Post time for the card is going to be 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 God's time, 12:30 Pacific time. Out on a specific coast. Barry, what you think of this card, man?
Interesting. I mean, these cards are always interesting because they're usually like lower level claimers, all of the most of the card, and you get these horses that kind of go up and down the class ladder a lot, and it always is tough. I mean, I can't say that handicapping these cards are easy. For a smaller track during the week, these cards are pretty tough, and it shows in the payouts too, because there's been some real monster ones lately.
Yeah, we've been I know at least once we were very close to a payout with a comment in it. But the unfortunate part is that when it chalks out,
it really chalks out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Barry, because of how numbers work, I'm leading it off today. Guys, when I handicap for our shows, this is my MO. Toss the races where I don't have complete information of all the entrants and fight into sequence where I have adequate data on everyone in the race. And when I say that, what I mean is that there are multiple entries who, due to a lack of starts on the surface or starts on the surface that have only been troubled trips, where I don't have a valid speed figure for the surface type, that's what I'm weeding out. And that really only left me with one sequence to play on this card, and it was that 2 through 4 stretch. So race 2, 6 furlongs, $8,500 claiming on the synthetic. And there are a couple things I considered when looking at this race. The first, of course, is pace. I say, of course, because pace makes the race, and I'm always looking to take advantage of extreme pace scenarios. The second is what I think that the track bias very well might be today. I think that you can either be A, reactive with track bias, or B, proactive with track bias. When you're proactive, you're not on your heels waiting to see what the track tells you, and you're using your base of knowledge of how tracks play to kind of peg how it will play before they even break the gate in the first. It's risky, but if you guess right, you can catch John Q betting public with his pants down. So when it comes to pace, this should be a 2-horse duel between the two inwardly drawn horses, Valiant Victoria, as well as the 2 Shorty Mac. I think it's going to open it up for 2 horses that like to come from off the pace. That's a bad situation for these 2 horses that want to go early, because I really think that it links up. And when it comes to bias, it should be pretty warm at Presque Isle today. And Barry and I have talked about this before. When that happens, the synthetic surface loosens up and becomes less springy. It's less off pace. It lets off pace horses have a fighting chance at running down speed. So I tried to consider that. In race 2, I went too deep. My top pick was the number 6 Solaire at 5-1. And you see this a lot by me. This is a top pick by virtue of 2 things: price and trend. The 5-1 is a fair price here, and the trend of increasing speed figures makes me think that this one runs big today, maybe matching the late summer, early fall form it showed at Presque Isle last year. It's a family affair here with an Allen for an owner, a trainer, and a jockey. We almost have what I like to call a bad company. Lisa Allen spotted her horse up well so far. She's hitting at 20%, going 2 for 10 this meet. This one got back to the synthetic after a stint in Tampa, and now comes in off of a 3 ascending speed figures entering today's race, which is an angle I like quite a bit. I'm also going to use the 5 heading east at 2-1. 2 ascending speed figures, same run style, but I don't get top choice on this one just because of price. Moving on, hit the hump day leg of this pick 3. 6 furlongs, $10,000 optional claiming on the synthetic. This race looks to be tailor-made for the conditions I mentioned. The pace shakes out for my picks and how I think the bias might play. There are about 3 horses that look like bona fide need the lead types, and that's going to open up for every off-pace horse that looks like he's worth a damn and good enough to actually win being added to the ticket. My top pick, the 2, Span of Control at 4-1. This is another case of top pick because the price, but because the run style of both my selections match. But if I were forced to single or to win bet, it would be Span of Control here at 4-1. Third off the layoff, dropping the tag in this optional claimer. And this one comes back in better form than when it started its Presque Isle Downs campaign last year. The third started off the layoff last year in June, and the fourth started off the layoff in July. Right when Span of Control started really progressing, putting up back-to-back wins. He's coming in better form, I think, than he did entering those performances. So if he can take the same sort of steady improvement off of the layoff in this sort of form cycle, then I think I think Span of Control definitely is good enough to get it done. And if you need back class, this one has 2 victories and $12,500 claiming races. And those came in the 2 races I referenced earlier where he was hitting top form last year. I'm also going to be using the 1, which I fucking love this name. Barry, this weekend, where you was?
I was in Shelbyville, Indiana.
Yeah, if you didn't catch the track feed, our boy, and also friend of the show, Louis Rabeau, both on the Indiana Grand Horseshoe Indianapolis track feed. So big moment. Way to go, Barry. We're proud of you. So where you was my other off-pace horse that I wanted to add. And then I'll wrap it up. Race 4, 8.3 furlongs, 1 mile, 70 yards. If you're not hip to the lingo, $6,250,000. 9 winners of 2 lifetime claiming on the synth. And now what happens when a race works out for my pace, but doesn't necessarily fit the track bias profile I'm hoping for? I think then you always defer to the extreme pace scenarios in that situation. And in this race, my extreme pace scenario is lone early speed.
Yes, I'm saying I want to mingle.
You want to mingle?
Yeah.
I am mingling with number 5, Kitten's War, 5-2. Kitten's War has 2 things going for it. Lone early speed that looks like the only horse that has ever sniffed the front end of a race shape. And the fact that we're running in a non-winners of 2 lifetime conditional claimer as a very lightly raced horse compared to some of the other career losers who have ample opportunity to graduate from this condition but haven't, I think that Kitten's War, who is wired at this distance 2 races back before the layoff, has to fire first off to win, but has the most crucial element of the race in its favor, which is that extreme pace scenario. So I finish it ice cold with the number 5 Kitten's War, which puts me in, if I play this at a $5 base for $20, that's an economical way to press this, 2.5 times. So that's my ticket. Barry, of course. Well, I'm going to ask, what do you think of the ticket? Did you look at race 2? Did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think you got the right idea. Because there should be enough speed for somebody to close into that first race of your pick 3. So those 2 options you have, especially the 5 looks pretty good on paper, but the only thing with the 5, he's coming out of State Bred Company in the Open. That's the only question mark, but that's not really a big question mark because this horse has been running faster than everybody else.
Yeah, and you also have the consideration, that the claiming prices are low. That designation of state bred versus open competition is a little bit closer.
Yeah,
Unless,
it's similar. It's definitely a similar kind of thing. So it's not like a huge concern. It's just it's there. You should be aware of it, but there's a little difference, but not a huge difference. Like if you go to Aqueduct or somewhere like that.
Yeah. I was going to say New York specifically. Barry, I feel like you got to pick 3 for us.
I do.
I know you do, in fact, and I know it starts in race 3. That $10,000 optional claimer. What are you doing here in the first leg of your pick 3?
I'm kind of with you in race 3 for the most part. I don't actually particularly like the one where you was. I just think the rail is problematic as a post position in general, and it's hard because you have to kind of make a decision. It's almost like being on the way outside, except you got the rail to your left and you can't crash into the rail. You can crash into other horses apparently, but not the rail. That's not a good thing. So I don't know really what kind of trip where you was can get here, only because this horse would have to actually kind of circle this field because he doesn't really like to be up front. I'd say this best race is with a target, and I think that's going to be hard because you got a lot of others that are doing the same thing that are just as talented, aka the 2 Span of Control. Their past performances look very, very similar. The reason I went with Span of Control is because he's been running well in open company. And where you was basically in condition claimers, non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3 types. And this horse is a 10-year-old where you was. So I'm looking to bet against that horse. So we're going to use the 2 Span of Control, just a younger version of where you was. We're also going to use the 3 Straight Out of Dutton. This horse actually beat where you was 2 years ago at Presque Isle, but has speed, should be out there winging it. Russell Randall is a good trainer. He has the 1 as well. So, one could think that this horse is the setup, but you never know. They could just run off and, run their race and actually win at a decent price. And that happens a lot. And then we're going to use the 6 Catch on Emotional, another speed horse who's coming second off the layoff from 2 years ago, really, almost exactly 2 years. Was running at $40,000 claimers back then, drops in for 10 June of this year, pops and stops. Probably needed the race. I would expect a better effort, and the horse has some back class, so we're going to use the 2, 3, and 6 in race 3.
Barry hoping the 6 Catch on Emotional does the stop drop, opens up shop, and pops in this race for the win. It moves you on to race 4, the 8.3 furlong. Yeah, I did all that stuff. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight on Kitten's War because that's my single here as well. This horse.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Interrupt, but we had to get Paul in for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely looks like lone speed on paper. I really don't see who could actually. Maybe the 4 could challenge him early, but I don't think so. If this horse gets out in front and kind of hangs on, just gets to the lead, they're probably going to be going pretty slow. And I don't see how Kittens War could lose unless he just plain flat out doesn't show up, which is possible. I mean, he finished 4th last time, but everything's in his favor. Trainer, stats, everything. So we're going to use Kittens War in race 4.
Barry, singling Kittens War along with me, hoping that I.O. Rodriguez can turn him inside out on the front. You see what I did there? You get that?
Ah.
Yeah. All right, Barry, you wrap it up in leg. Oh, someone messed up his bookmarks. In race 5, 5 furlongs, $30,000 maiden special weight for the babies, for 2-year-olds. I like that you included this because you can usually find a pretty good price in these. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's what I was doing, kind of fishing for prices here. We're going to use the 1 left Nada Walkin. Scooter Davis is absolutely on fire at Presque Isle Downs. Sitting at 71% in the form as of today. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, him and Rosario Montanez hook up at a 38% clip, 74 race sample size. I mean, they're trying to win this race. The horse has a nice workout on June 27th that fits the bill. And again, this goes to what I was talking about. I really don't like the 1 hole, but in this instance, you got to take a shot because this horse is not going to be bet, or might not be bet. Maybe won't be bet. I'm being optimistic here.
There we go. There we go.
It might. I mean, there's a chance that this horse could go off favored, but I'm hoping like 3-1 second choice ish. So we're going to use left Nate a walk-in, and we're also going to use the 6 Happy Henny. Who's out of run happy? You don't see too many floating around Presque Isle. Ran pretty decent last time, first time out. This barn, Tim Ham, does really well second time out, 16% or so. Does well enough on synthetic where I think this horse can be make a slight improvement. Tim Ham also has the 2 in this race, but I think the 6 ran better despite the placing. And we're going to use the 6 with Gadiel Martinez and the 1 left Nate a walk-in to close this one out for the W.
Yeah. So at first glance, that says left nut a walk-in to me. 2, I can't drink Henny or any cognac anymore because last time I did, I blacked out and tried to fight every single unhoused man in the city of Little Rock in a Taco Bell parking lot. It was what convinced me personally, Barry, that in your 20s, when it's your birthday, you should wear a helmet cam or like a GoPro, like strapped to your forehead.
It's actually a good
for
idea.
posterity's sake. Yeah, man. Yeah. Barry, how do you feel about wrapping up picks?
I think we must.
Is mandatory. I'll lead it off here. Or Monday, Presque Isle Down, pick 3. For me, I didn't change the numbers. Nick Sievers, there's your typo. This actually starts race 2. Race 2, we got the 5-6. Race 3, we got the 1-2. And race 4, we close it out with the ice cold single, the number 5. Barry, I changed your numbers. You're good.
All right. So race 3, we got the 2, 3, and 6. Race 4, we have the 5. And race 5, 1 and 6 for $30 on a $5 play.
There we go. As our friend might say, to the hoop.
Bang.
Bang. All right, guys. We took care of it. Barry, what you got going on the rest of the day, Playboy?
Trying to stay cool. It's hot here. Actually, you know what's funny? It was hotter in Indiana than it was here in Daytona.
Dude, that Midwest heat, when it hits
it was bakey. I mean, honestly, it was uncomfortable for me, and I'm from Florida, and it was hot. I was like, man, it's hot out here.
At least you got a breeze, man. We're in the jungle hot stage where it's just it just hops on your back and rides you like you're giving it a piggyback ride the entire until October probably.
Thank goodness for a sea breeze.
Yeah. Everyone needs a good friend named Cool Breeze while we're on that subject.
True.
Maybe a friend named Junebug too. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for us here at the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Of course, we will be back tomorrow, bright and early, 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Eastern.
That's early.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Could be. Depends.
Yeah. depends on what you. If you work
A show for the night
the,
owls. It's early.
If you work the night shift, probably. You know.
It's early. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
We'll be back tomorrow with long shots for Horseshoe, Indianapolis. We'll call Barry's Friendly Confines now. So check that out. We love you. Good luck at Browns. Tomorrow. What are we going to ride out on, Barry? What's something we haven't used in just the longest?